Ever wonder if someone around you might be hiding their own foolishness? Discover 6 subtle signs that could reveal more than they intend. Hey there! So, today we're diving into a super interesting topic, stupidity. Yeah, I know it sounds harsh, but stick with me. We're not here to call anyone out. Instead, we're learning how to spot certain behaviors that might hold someone back, including ourselves. Ever heard of modern Stoicism? It's this really cool philosophy that helps us live better lives by focusing on wisdom and self-improvement. By spotting these signs of stupidity, or maybe just areas where we can improve, we can grow personally and build better relationships with the people around us. I mean, who doesn't want that, right? Imagine being able to navigate life with more clarity, like those epic characters in your favorite movies who just seem to have it all figured out. So, let's explore how identifying these signs can make us wiser, stronger, and just all around cooler. Alright, so have you ever met someone who's super confident about everything, but when you dig a little deeper, you find out they don't really know much about what they're talking about? Yeah, that's what we're diving into right now. Picture this. You're in New York City, the city that never sleeps, and you run into this guy named Jake. Jake's convinced he knows everything there is to know about, well, everything. From fashion trends to the latest tech gadgets, Jake's got an opinion, and boy, does he share it. But here's the kicker. When you ask him a few questions, it becomes clear that his knowledge is more shallow than a kiddie pool. This is what we call overconfidence without justification. It's kind of like watching a superhero movie where the hero forgets their powers, but still jumps into action. Why does this happen? Well, it ties back to something called the Dunning-Kruger effect. This is a fancy term for when people with limited knowledge or competence in a subject are unable to recognize their own lack of expertise. Basically, they don't know enough to know that they don't know enough. And here's where Stoicism comes in. Stoics are all about self-awareness and humility. They believe that true wisdom comes from understanding the limits of your knowledge and continuously seeking to learn more. So, how do we avoid being overconfident like Jake? It's simple, by being honest with ourselves about what we know and what we don't. Take a moment to assess your confidence levels. Are you like Jake, or are you ready to embrace the Stoic approach of lifelong learning? Remember, it's totally cool to not know everything. What's important is being open to learning and growing every day. Hey there, fellow thinkers. So, imagine you're playing your favorite video game. You keep getting defeated by the same boss over and over. Frustrating, right? Now, what if instead of trying a new strategy, you just kept doing the same thing, expecting different results? That's kind of like not learning from your mistakes. In the world of Stoicism, messing up is actually a chance to level up in real life. Ancient Stoics believed that every mistake is a lesson waiting to be learned. Let's dive into a story. Meet Sophia. She's a smart, ambitious teen, but she keeps making the same financial blunders, like spending all her allowance on trendy gadgets without saving any. Despite seeing her friends manage their money better, she doesn't change her approach. It's like she's stuck in a loop, just like in a game where you don't hit the save button and keep losing progress. But here's the cool part. Stoicism teaches us that the real power-up comes from reflection. Taking a step back to think about what went wrong and how to fix it next time is key. To help you not be like Sophia, I've got a few tips. First, whenever something doesn't go as planned, jot it down. Write what happened and why you think it went wrong. Second, talk to someone you trust about it. Sometimes, a friend's perspective is all you need to see things clearly. Lastly, try to see every mistake as a stepping stone. Remember, even the best gamers take a break to review their strategy. So next time you face a setback, don't just hit repeat. Learn, grow, and become the hero of your own story. Hey there! Have you ever noticed how some people just refuse to listen to those who actually know what they're talking about? It's like, dude, just because you watched a 5-minute YouTube video doesn't mean you're suddenly an expert. So, let's break down why ignoring expert advice can be a major sign of foolishness, and how a bit of Stoic wisdom can help us out here. First off, let's chat about why some folks are skeptical of experts. It's not just about being stubborn. Sometimes it's about wanting to feel in control or not wanting to admit that someone else knows better. But here's the thing, Stoicism teaches us that wisdom is super valuable. It's all about learning and growing, right? So, if you constantly ignore people who have spent years studying a topic, you might be missing out on some serious life upgrades. Take Mike, for example. Mike lives in Brooklyn, and for some reason, he thinks he's got all the answers about health without ever stepping foot in a medical school. He ignores his doctor's advice and just goes with what he reads online. Spoiler alert, it doesn't end well for Mike. Don't be like Mike. Now, how do we make sure we're not falling into this trap? It's all about balance. Sure, it's good to have a healthy dose of skepticism and not believe everything you hear. But it's also important to recognize when someone knows more than you do. Listen to what experts have to say, weigh it against your own understanding, and then make an informed decision. So, the next time you're tempted to dismiss expert advice, remember that being wise means being open to learning from others. It's not about blindly following, but about considering perspectives and making smart choices. That's how you get smarter and make life a little less stupid. Hey there, curious minds. Or maybe not so curious minds. Today, we're diving into the world of curiosity, or the lack thereof. Imagine living in a world where you never wondered why or how. Sounds pretty dull, right? Well, that's exactly what happens when someone lacks curiosity. Curiosity is like the secret sauce to a flavorful life. It's what drives us to explore new places, learn new things, and understand the world in all its weird and wonderful ways. Think about it. If we weren't curious, we wouldn't have video games, TikTok, or even pizza. Now, let's break it down with some Stoic wisdom. The Stoics, those cool ancient philosophers, believed that the pursuit of knowledge is a lifelong journey. They taught that being curious is essential for personal growth and wisdom. Without curiosity, we stop growing, and that's a no-go. Let's meet Emma. Emma lives in a world where she never asks questions. She's never tried sushi, never wondered about the stars, and never asked what her favorite song really means. Emma's life is like watching the same episode of a TV show over and over. Sure, it's comfortable, but she's missing out on the whole series. So how can we avoid falling into the Emma trap? Start small. Next time you hear a song, ask yourself what the lyrics mean. When you see something cool, like a skateboard trick or a viral dance, ask how it's done. Follow those questions like breadcrumbs, and you'll find yourself on a path filled with new discoveries. Remember, curiosity is your ticket to a vibrant life. It's what turns a simple walk in the park into an adventure. So go on, let your curiosity lead the way. Hey there! So let's talk about something super relatable, emotions. You know, those wild, sometimes confusing feelings that can hit you out of nowhere. Ever have those moments where you react to something and later think, why did I do that? Well, you're not alone. We all experience this, and it's totally normal. But here's the thing, when our emotions get the best of us, it can cloud our judgment and lead to decisions we might regret. This is where Stoicism, an ancient philosophy, can really come in handy. Stoics believed in controlling emotions through reason and understanding. Imagine having a superpower that lets you pause, think, and then react. Sounds cool, right? Let's take Tom, for example. Tom's a regular teenager who often finds himself reacting impulsively, especially when he's stressed. Maybe he snaps at a friend or gets into arguments at home. Sound familiar? Stoicism teaches us to take a step back and breathe before reacting. It's like having a moment of Zen, where you can decide the best way to handle the situation. So next time you feel those emotions bubbling up, try this. Take a deep breath, count to 5, and ask yourself, how would I handle this if I were calm and collected? Practicing this can help you become more resilient, just like a Stoic hero. Remember, it's okay to feel emotions. It's how we handle them that makes all the difference. Hey there! So let's talk about something that everyone faces at some point, change. I know, change can be super scary. Like, imagine if your favorite band suddenly changed their style, or if your go-to game updated, and everything looked different. Face screaming in fear, but guess what? Being resistant to change is actually one of those hidden signs of well, not so smart behavior. Let me explain why. First up, resisting change often means missing out on new opportunities. Think about it. If you're always stuck in your comfort zone, you might never discover your new favorite song or meet your future best friend. In the world of Stoicism, this is a big deal because Stoics believe that life is about adapting and growing. Remember Linda? She's always doing the same old thing, even when it's not working out for her. It's like she's wearing blinders and can't see all the cool stuff happening around her. The ancient Stoics had this cool idea that change is the only constant. Sounds deep, right? But it's true. Life is always moving and shaking, just like TikTok trends. One day it's all about dance challenges, and the next it's all about funny animal clips. Stoicism teaches us to embrace change and see it as a chance to grow and learn. So, how do you get better at dealing with change? Start by being open to new experiences, even if they seem a bit intimidating at first. Try saying yes to things that are outside your usual routine. Maybe join a new club at school, or try that weird food your friend is always raving about. You never know what awesome things could happen. Remember, being adaptable is like having a superpower. It makes you resilient and ready to tackle whatever life throws your way. So, next time you feel like resisting change, think about how you can turn it into an opportunity instead. You got this. Alright folks, let's wrap this up with a quick recap. We've just walked through 6 hidden signs that might indicate someone is not living up to their potential, or as we put it, showing signs of foolishness. First, we talked about overconfidence without justification. Remember, it's cool to be confident, but it's even cooler to base that confidence on actual knowledge and experience. The second sign is the inability to learn from mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes, but the key is to learn from them and grow. Next, we covered the refusal to listen to experts. Being open to advice and learning from those who know more is a smart move. Then we dove into the lack of curiosity. Staying curious and eager to learn is like having a superpower. It keeps you growing and evolving. We also discussed emotional reactivity and how it can cloud your judgment. Learning to manage your emotions leads to better decision-making. Finally, we talked about resistance to change. Change can be scary, but it's also a part of life, and embracing it can lead to amazing opportunities. By recognizing these signs and applying a Stoic approach, you can navigate life more wisely and live a more fulfilling and enlightened life. Stay curious, stay wise, and remember, the journey of personal growth is a lifelong adventure.